Silent Bob's Book of the Dead is full of shit?
Metatron bends down to put his finger at the edge of the binding circle and he says,
No more than any other tome transcribed by human hands, like the Bible or Dianetics.
Close on Metatron as he sniffs the dust on his finger. Same shot, but he looks up with a single raised eyebrow and he says,
Is this binding circle made of marijuana?
That's concentrated cannabis keef, Chief. Want me to roll your joint with it?
Seraphim are the highest choir of angels, not angels who get high. And while it's been quite some time since we last met, I do recall you both being ignorant in all things otherworldly, if not all things in general. Which begs the question, why on earth are you trying to contact heaven?
Give it up for fucking Craig, man! Not only is he giving fucking Alan vibes and shit, he is stopping to make eye contact with the audience. He is not buried in a script. He is fucking making the human connection. You, on the other hand, you're buried in your shit like a bookworm. And you're like literally reading shit you should know by heart. Snooch to the nooch.
By the way, whoever's putting this on Instagram tomorrow, I need to get your address.
Here we go. Jay, let's take it back one line. Why on earth, starting with Metatron and action.
Why on earth are you trying to contact heaven?
We got a request.
Metatron looks at the Buddy Christ statue as Jay and Bob look at him. Metatron says,
We call those prayers. But this isn't prayer. Prophets, this is a theological theft. So why are you two in a cemetery performing this silly ceremony with a stolen statue?
Jay and Bob present the headstone that they've built the ceremony around, the inscription of which we finally see. Dante Hicks, husband, friend, clerk. I'm not even supposed to be here today. Jay says,
Ever since our friend died, there's this big hole of hurt around Quickstop. Shit's just not the same anymore, because everyone's still sad. So we figured we'd try to, bring him back.
So that's the point of the whole fucking story. Jay and Bob are trying to bring Dante back to life. Because ever since I made Clerks 3, I've been dealing with people on fucking social media being like, I was looking forward to a Friday night laugh. So I rented Clerks 3. Fuck you for this existential crisis. Hashtag justice for Dante. So I figured this might be a fun thing to do. Metatron looks at Jay and Silent Bob like they're kids who just said the cutest thing ever. And Metatron says,
By conquering death itself.
If I had to, I was ready to whip out my pocket knife. Look, don't tell anyone I got a pocket knife, yo.
Your secret is safe with me.
Metatron pulls a stray feather from one of his wings as he talks to a hopeful Jay and Silent Bob, and he says,
As for the other matter, I'm afraid an amateur resurrection is out of the question. Human beings can't be entrusted with dominion over the dead because, well, as a species, you're far too sentimental.
You're sentimental.
Sentimental. It means you have a hard time letting go. The human understanding of object permanence often extends incorrectly into the emotional. So you take one another for granted, appreciating each only after they're gone for good. Not a very kosher way to run a synagogue, as she's fond of saying.
Give it up for Craig, man. Well handled. That's a lot of words. Over Metatron onto Jay, his arms folded, irritated. Silent Bob points at Jay as if he's right. Jay says,
Look, are you gonna help us bring our boy back from the dead, or do we gotta summon someone else? Like one of them angels with balls.
Metatron unbuttons his pants and says,
Good luck with that.
We're behind over Metatron as he drops his pants onto the horrified Jay and Bob in the background. Metatron says,
As you can clearly see.
Metatron stands there with his pants around his knees, showing off a smooth, sexless crack. Give it up for Craig, ladies and gentlemen. Taking you there. Next we'll have a tuckathon. Goodbye, horses. And action.
Angels are as anomically impaired as a Ken doll.
One more time. Cut. Just because we gotta get all the syllables into anatomically. And action.
Angels are as anatomically impaired as a Ken doll.
Excellent job. There's a lot of syllables. Give it up for Craig. Same as shot as panel 2, but Jay and Silent Bob's expressions are that of relief. Jay says,
Oof. I thought you were gonna be like.
hold on 1 second, cut. What the fuck is foof? It says phew, just phew.
I wanted to give it a bigger one.
You foof. The most natural fucking expression anyone's ever made. Foof, that was close.
The guy finally improvs. And
This is it. I think we're gonna, next movie, Craig and Silent Bob.
Snoochie boochies, bitches.
All right, take it. Whew. It's relief. Whew. And action.
I think this is my character choice. Whew. I thought you were gonna be like, you want your friend back? Then start sucking. But you ain't got nothing to suck.
Metatron refastens his pants and he says,
You should see my...
no.
You should... I can't see it. Me? You should see me.
Let's cut, because we'll set that up right, because that's a good one. It'll land
It's a
well.
real good one, yeah.
Let's take it back one line. Jay will read you in with foof. Taking it back to foof and action.
I thought you were gonna be like, you want your friend back? Then start sucking. But you ain't got nothing to suck.
You should see me scissor, sisters.
See, I told you that would land.
As for your cadaverous colleague, whose grave do you seek to rob?
Not do. There's no do in there. I didn't put a fucking do in there. Don't put do in my shit. Let's take it back. Take 2. No lead in. Go dry. Same way me and Jay fuck. And action.
You should see me scissor, sister. As for your cadaverous colleague, whose grave you seek to rob?
Biggest panel on the page. High overhead of Metatron as he leans atop Dante's grave, addressing Jay and Silent Bob. Metatron says,
I am the Metatron, herald of the Almighty and voice of the one true God. As the Lorax speaks for the trees, the Metatron speaks for the Lord. And the Lord would like me to politely remind you to calamities of catechism that's an inconvenient truth. When it comes to those who've triumphed over the grave, it is a very exclusive club.
Well, can't that club include our friend Sergio?
Metatron indicates the name on the grave where he's leaning.
Dante, not Sergio. Regardless, no. Your friend had his time.
Metatron stands again. Jay throws up the horns to Silent Bob.
Let this absence in your life act as a regular reminder to appreciate all those who are still present. That is the gift of death.
The Gift of Death would be an awesome name for a King Diamond song.
To quote from the great work, the universe has to move forward. Pain and loss, they define us as much as happiness and love. Whether it is a world or a relationship, everything has its time, and everything ends.
Wow. That shit actually made me feel better. Is it from the Bible?
Doctor Who, Season 2, Episode 4, entitled School Reunion. Written by Toby Whithouse and expertly acted by Elizabeth Sladen.
You know what? I'm sorry. I got lost in it because I was enjoying it. Give it up for Craig. You nailed that Doctor Who moment. Well done. Metatron continues and he says,
Point is, look around you, boys. Your friend is here right now.
Jay and Silent Bob strike back-to-back defensive poses, preparing to karate chop a ghost. Jay says,
Holy shit! We gotta find a poltergeist, Silent Bob! You trying to ghost us, Casper? Bustin' makes me feel fucking good!
over the overly defensive Jay and Bob onto Metatron, who smiles warmly, even patiently, what he says.
Your dead friend isn't here physically. I was speaking more metaphysically.
Biggest panel on the page, Metatron, arms and wings spread wide as he says,
The atoms that build your body have existed since the very beginning of the universe, formed from the stardust billions of years before your birth. And as it can neither be created nor destroyed, all the energy introduced by the Big Bang at the infancy of existence is a fixed quantity that remains the same to this day. Do you know what that means?
Metatron cups his mouth, whispering to a mystified Jay and Silent Bob.
It means your friend never left. He's still here, all around you.
Like the fucking Force.
Metatron rolls his eyes. Behind him, Jay and Silent Bob high-five in the background.
You people. If there isn't a movie about it, it's not worth knowing, is it?
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
Metatron points to the Buddy Christ statue and he says,
Return Buddy Christ to his perch in the church, gentlemen. Once you do, I can at least erase that transgressive entry from your win ledger.
Oh, God, cut. What the fuck, man?
I'm sorry, I didn't learn how to read.
Craig, you had me and shit like that, but that one letter changes everything and shit. And ruins everything that comes after. So we're going to take it back to Return Buddy Christ and action.
Return Buddy Christ to his perch in the church, gentlemen. Once you do, I can at least erase that transgressive entry from your win ledger.
Cut! There's no W, that's an S. S.
That is an S?
Yeah, it's a fucking S.
Sin ledger, okay.
And action.
Hey, what the fuck?
Oh, shit, sorry.
Fucking lunatics have taken over the asylum.
Return Buddy Christ.
Hey, what the fuck? I told you I'd show you exactly what it's like to fucking... And action.
Return Buddy Christ to his perch in the church, gentlemen. Once you do, I can at least erase that transgressive entry from your sin ledger. Don't hurt me.
He got through it. Give it up for him, ladies and gentlemen.
Sin Ledger would be an awesome name for a King Diamond song.
Jay turns to Metatron, who's looking up, preparing to leave. Metatron says,
One King Diamond reference I can abide by, but two means there's most certainly a third en route, so it's time I go.
Wait, we got questions. How's Rufus and Stripper Dippity? Yo, how's the girl in the tutu?
look, Jay trying to get some fucking Dogma sequel information. And Metatron is going to save you all the fucking pain of sitting through a Dogma sequel and tell you right now what happened to everybody. Take it away, Metatron, action.
Rufus has found reward. In the age of streaming, serendipity has been busier than ever. And God, she remains a mystery. As inscrutable as an average Apple agreement.
Well done. But you butchered my fucking joke. An arms-crossed Metatron addresses a shy Jay and Silent Bob. They have their hats in their hands, and Jay says,
Maskatron?
Metatron.
We got one more thing to say before you go.
Well then.
Jay and Silent Bob being very serious.
Me and Silent Bob just want to say that it was a real honor and privilege to get to work with you that one time. Back when we saved the world, the kind of circles we travel in, we don't get to meet a lot of people who are excellent at what they do. You were, and still are, one of our favorite people we've ever met, yo. We were lucky to even know you. And on top of that, we miss you, man.
Give it up for Jay, man. Give it up for Jay. Delivering it not just as the character Jay, but as Jay to Alan Rickman. On Metatron, Metatron says,
You're both very sweet stoners. And if you keep your noses clean, you just may see me again one day.
Now we're over Metatron onto Jay and Silent Bob as Metatron says,
But in the meantime, I should go. Before this classless reunion gets too scented metal.
Well done. Metatron urges Jay and Silent Bob to step back as he spreads his wings wide.
You might want to take a step back.
So we don't get hurt?
No.
Metatron takes off into the sky in a glorious splash page, leaving a tiny Jay and Bob on the ground far below, flying at us like Superman, wings spread, and he says,
So your jaw has somewhere to drop.
give it up for fucking Craig. Our final page, page 20, panel 1, Jay and Silent Bob in the cemetery, backed by the Buddy Christ statue, stare off into the sky as their friend as he leaves. Then we go wider in the next panel to reveal an entire mourning family is at an adjacent grave, staring wide-eyed at Jay and Silent Bob. Same shot, but now Jay and Silent Bob are looking at the mourner's gaze, and then Jay says,
We're buying a stairway to heaven.
hold on, not you, them. I'm gonna change that joke. Panel 5, same shot, but Jay and Silent Bob lift the statue, and Jay says,
Yo, Stairway to Heaven would be an awesome name for a King Diamond song.
the end! Give it up for